we saw Ballparks general manager Dallas Mertz speak out. He actually put a letter out on his Facebook, and I thought it was well presented.
Yeah, it was very interesting, and I wasn't even aware that this was a problem, right? So we know, just a little background, that in the recent elections, one of the former general manager of Ballparks National ran against the incumbent as the local area representative.
Yeah, and we're talking Jeff Fernetti and Dr. Lisa Thomas.
Right, and so there was some bad blood there, right? Sure. I mean, it was a well contested race, and Jeff Fernetti ended up winning that against the incumbent. But apparently there's more bleed over problem that is affecting Ballpark National, which is why the new general manager, Dallas Mertz, put out this statement, and it was pretty fascinating.
And it just talked about how, because of the ongoing witch hunt, and I'll be honest, that's what we called it when we were contacted by, at the time, the incumbent Dr. Lisa Thomas and Osage Beach Mayor Michael Harmison about this grant and the problems with it. But it's been the same state as it has for about 7 months before they finally found out they were not reinstating the grant. And what that means is it's almost $3 million taken directly out of its federal funds from COVID, like literally federal funds that have to go somewhere that would have been going into Ballparks National,
yep,
which is no doubt a tourism driver here at Lake of the Ozarks, right?
Yep.
And so for Dr. Thomas, who has now lost the election, to keep fighting and pressing and wanting to see this area that used to be her district not get this federal money that didn't come from somebody's pocket. It is federal money that has to go. It's going to go somewhere. Well, Dr. Thomas, you see now that they're claiming 27 kids from Max Creek were able to be employed and for all kinds of upcoming tournaments, and without them getting this grant reinstated, it looks like Ballparks National is going to be limited, have to make some cuts and be prevented. I do want to remind people, it really was not that close. For an incumbent who spent about $15,000, Dr. Lisa Thomas spent $225,000 on this election, and she got 40.59% of the vote. Jeff Fernetti got 59.4% of the vote. That, in voting election terms, is a landslide.
Yeah, it's a blowout.
So not only did she get blown out, but still not happy, apparently she is announcing a run for Senate for this district. And so I just want to remind people that this is what's going on, and our community, Lake of the Ozarks, is not going to get that grant to Ballparks National. Whether you like it or don't like it, it looks like the whistleblower, there was an article with St. Louis Dispatch, but let's not forget about what she's done for our constituents. And no one's going to forget about the jet ski bill, right? The wave runner bill. Like, let's put patrol guys, water patrol guys in the back of a wave runner in the middle of a busy holiday weekend to keep everybody safe. Like, that is what I'll remember her for doing for her constituents.
Interesting. So, and in this letter from Dallas Mertz, the GM of Ballpark National now, he said, from the beginning of this process until now, I felt as though a certain former political figure actively worked against us, not for the sake of the community, but due to a personal vendetta against the park's former manager. This person's concern appears to be that this former manager still holds a 5% ownership in the park, which is why apparently there's still bad blood. He goes on to say, this coming June, we have a 5-day baseball tournament scheduled with 148 teams pre-registered, assuming that we would be getting the grant reinstated. This event alone would have generated nearly $300,000 for the ballpark and contributed at least that much to the local community through hotels, restaurants, entertainment, shopping. Instead of considering the greater good, political agendas stood in the way. Put very well there. Isn't it sad, though? But I guess, true colors start to come out when you see things like this. If you're not working for the community, you're holding on to a vendetta, then you probably wouldn't have been a good representative for that community in the first place.
And the deal is, if it's an accounting error, like, that'll work itself out, and that would maybe be why the DED didn't reinstate the grant. But if there was anything nefarious going on or anything nasty, there would be criminal charges, and that's not the case. And so that's where we've been misled in this, and it's just interesting that now the lake is the one that's going to pay the price, and now Ballparks National, like, if you like tourism, we were just at the CVB dinner, we heard from our Lieutenant Governor, David Wassinger, talk about Lake of the Ozarks and the tourism driver, and it's like, there's no bigger tourism driver to Lake of the Ozarks, that puts more heads in beds than Ballparks National.
Yeah, I mean, that is huge. I mean, just listen to what he said. 148 teams from around the nation were scheduled to come here. That's 148 teams with 20
that was
kids.
One 5-day tournament.
Yeah, with 20 kids on the team, and you got coaches, you got parents. All of those people are coming into the community because of Ballpark National, and because you've got a fight, between political figures.
Politics stink.
Oh, it is. It's dirty, nasty, ugly. And I told somebody the other day, it's too bad because it keeps good people out of politics because they don't like to be a part of all that crap. But we need good people in politics, that can handle that. So that's tough.